For decades, my dad blamed me for losing my mom. But when I finally revealed the truth to his wife, the lies he built his marriage on came crashing down, and their whole world fell apart. My father virtually relinquished me to his sister from the moment I, now 27, entered the world. My mother tragically passed during my birth, and my aunt later revealed that he never truly recovered, blaming me for her untimely demise. As a child, it was deeply painful to be utterly ignored by him at family gatherings. As I matured, his accusations of my culpability became more explicit, culminating in his declaration that he couldn't bear to look at my face. The subsequent need for extensive therapy is easily imagined. I recall attending church in tears, consumed by fear of spiritual damnation for simply being the reason my mother was no longer present. That's the profound impact his words inflicted upon me. Despite this torment, I ceaselessly sought his acceptance. Following my high school graduation, he instructed me never to contact him again, citing his legal emancipation from any further obligation since he provided my aunt with funds for my upbringing. Around that period, I finally began to internalize this harsh reality. From that point, our lives diverged. My aunt refrains from discussing him with me. My grandparents, however, occasionally share updates, which is how I learned of his marriage. They expressed disappointment at my exclusion from the wedding, but to me, it held little significance, given our non-existent relationship. It was his new wife, however, who expressed a desire to meet me. This marked his first ever attempt at contact, primarily driven by her wish to integrate me into their lives. She was unaware of the true, painful history of our estrangement. He implored me to remain silent about the past, suggesting this encounter could be an avenue for reconciliation. Yet, his sole motivation for this seemed clearly to appease her. I never explicitly agreed to his request, but he nonetheless insisted on our meeting at their residence, emphasizing her keen desire to connect. All she believed was that our distance stemmed from adolescent disagreements, college, and the natural drift of life. It stung that he trivialized years of profound emotional injury into mere petty reasons. During our meeting, I conveyed the unvarnished truth to her. Everything he had ever said to me, and the unequivocal fact that he had never functioned as a parent, that role having been solely fulfilled by my aunt. It was undeniably a shock for her. The aftermath was catastrophic. The entire family is now aware of the situation. My grandmother, in particular, conveyed understanding of my anger, yet admonished that this had been his opportunity for happiness after my mother's loss, and I had jeopardized it. My father is devastated. They collectively feel I went too far by imperiling his marriage, especially when he was supposedly willing to include me in their lives, which could have initiated a familial connection. They accuse me of not only sabotaging that possibility, but also potentially fracturing his marriage. His wife, they imply, fundamentally disagrees with his past actions, and the entire disaster could have been averted had I simply remained silent. For me, concealing the truth felt impossible, especially after his deceptive portrayal made our estrangement seem trivial. I couldn't ignore the painful reality after the damage it inflicted. I question whether my choice was correct, given the risk it posed to their entire marriage. Update: words cannot express my gratitude for the outpouring of support from my last post. The love, and especially the acknowledgement of my pain, meant the world. To all the kind individuals who commented and DM'd, you truly know how to make a stranger feel cherished. LOL. Due to overwhelming requests, here is the update. It's been emotionally taxing, and I needed a couple of days to process and grieve. They're separating. I first heard the news from my grandmother, then from his wife, or rather, his ex-wife. She was audibly distraught on the phone, calling to apologize for placing me in such a difficult position. She and my father had a more extensive conversation where he confessed all his past actions. Consequently, she decided she couldn't remain with a person like him and wanted me to understand her profound disappointment. Crucially, she also offered me thanks, which was something I desperately needed to hear. My father is fundamentally himself, yes. But regardless, knowing that two individuals are ending their marriage because of my revelation is a heavy burden, hard not to feel guilty about. This woman is heartbroken, navigating a separation merely months after her wedding, yet she made the effort to reassure someone else that they had made the correct choice. Unexpectedly, my father also requested a conversation yesterday. My girlfriend again advised against it. Trust me, I understand her reasoning. She was the one who initially opposed me even having dinner with them. Firstly, we were unsure of his motives, and secondly, the potential impact on my mental well-being was a significant risk. It was probably a poor gamble, but I met with him. Indeed, I should heed my girlfriend's advice more often concerning these matters. For the first time in my life, I believe, we discussed my mother. He spoke of his deep love for her, their happiness, and their excitement about starting a family. Then she passed away. He confessed that, even if it was wrong, he could never cease to blame me, because if I had never been born, she would still be alive. He expressed remorse only for not maintaining complete distance from me and for uttering cruel words throughout my upbringing. While his demeanor seemed sincere and not malicious, his words still pierced me. Ultimately, we concluded that a relationship between us was never viable, and we parted ways. He at least offered an apology for attempting to coerce me into that difficult position with his wife. The first genuinely decent thing he ever did was to assure me that the outcome with his wife was not my fault. Afterward, I simply returned home and wept. I allowed myself a day to process, engaged in a brief therapy session, and leaned on the unwavering support of both my aunt and my girlfriend to navigate this period. The rest of my family, thankfully, is leaving me alone. So, I am relieved that, in the end, it reached a resolution, albeit not entirely a happy one, I recognize. I am deeply grateful for your presence on my journey to liberation. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.